Okay, cameras rolling. Sound's already on. And, okay, and I'm gonna hold this. Nobody's got notes, right? Ooh, you guys going guerrilla style.
He memorized it.
Guerrilla style.
Mine's all gonna be off the top of my head. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Guerrilla style. Okay, we're going 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. Master Liciaga, P. Liciaga, your Mount Laurel martial arts guy. And before I really introduce you, I want to really have you guys get to know who I am, tell you a little bit about me, but I'm going to talk about my guys over here. These are our guests. Okay, awesome martial artists, and we have Mr. Trevor Cline, Master Trevor Cline, and I'm going to let you in a couple of seconds introduce yourself, because I want you guys to know who we are, because we are your Mount Laurel martial arts guys. Over here is Mr. Colan Magill. He's a 3rd degree, training for his masters as well, and they're both instructors along with me at Donato Karate Center in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And so I want to start off first of all by telling you why we have this show here, then I'll let Mr. Cline, or Master Cline, I have to get used to calling you Master
Yes,
Cline,
sir,
because he tested in April, was it? April?
Yes, sir.
April 2017 for his masters, and that's the same time I tested for my 6th degree master, and so we're getting used to that, seeing ourselves in that context, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course, Mr. McGill, he's working for his masters, and when are you going to test for masters?
October 2019.
2019, October 2019. And I'm going for 7th degree. I'm training right now for my 7th degree, and I'll be going April of 2024. When are you going for your 5th?
Ooh, I'll be going in April. Ooh, wait, when did I get
Is that off the top of your head? 2021, okay. Now, let me tell you why I wanted to do a show like this, and don't make fun of my shortness or anything like that. Don't judge, okay? I know I'm a little short. They've cut me down to size, but that's okay. But let me tell you why I wanted to do a show like this, your Mount Laurel Martial Arts show. Because there's a lot of work going on in the martial arts world that's really positive and powerful, empowering people all ages. And I really wanted to create a conversation to talk about that. And then specifically what we're doing in our community, Mount Laurel, at Donato Karate Center specifically, in changing, helping people become more of where they are, no matter where they are, whether they're struggling through school, 4-year-olds, or all the way up maybe through 80-year-olds, and maybe they just want something to do, stay healthy, keep moving. We're doing great work here. We've been in this area, Donato Karate, since 1993. Master Donato, Mike Donato, and his wife, Erica Donato, own and operate the school. He's our instructor. He's the one that ranked me 6th degree. He is right now currently training for his 7th degree, working hard. And they started this program in Mount Laurel in 1993. And there's been so many students that have come through this environment on these mats and have changed lives. Now, I know Master Cline was one, as well as Mr. Colan Magill. So I want to start with you first. I want you to introduce yourself to them and just tell them, and I'll lead you along the way if it starts getting boring. No, I'm only kidding. No, but share with them. Tell them a little about you. Tell them, start with your name, and then how old you were when you started. And
I'm Colan Magill, if you haven't picked it up yet. Now, I started when I was about 3.5. Master Donato and Mrs. Donato actually came to the preschool where I was going to at the time and did some trial classes, and
it's cool.
I've been here ever since, except because of some family migration issues, I actually stopped training for about 4 years. I just couldn't physically get into the studio. So my freshman year in high school, I came back, but I was wearing the nice fancy 1st degree black belt, but I had the skills of, if I'm lucky, a white belt. So I had to push my way through. I remember a couple of times I was doing forms in my backyard in freezing rain, which don't do that. Bad for your health. I almost got frostbite because I was pushing a little bit too far, too fast. I also am an Eagle Scout. I got that in May 2015. I also worked at a ropes course. I go backpacking a lot, and I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting somewhere along the lines that I'll remind you of later.
Yeah, if it comes up, let us know. It's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. I know you said you've been telling me about you being this Eagle Scout, and it was there in the back of my mind, but it's become more and more in the forefront. Hey, it's not because I'm old, okay? But I think it's awesome, and we have several students that are striving to be Eagle Scouts, and so you're a great role model for them. So thanks a lot. If you think of anything that you might think would be valuable to everyone out there, go ahead and jump in. Okay, we're jumping in. Now, we'll be jumping in and stepping on each other's toes. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Not a bad thing. There you go. He just stepped on, you didn't see that. He just stepped on my toe. Okay, good. You didn't even see that.
I didn't see it.
I can't sue.
It's okay.
Okay, so Master Cline, share a little bit about you.
My name's Trevor Cline. I'm 28 years old. I started training when I was 10 years old, so I've been doing this for about 18, almost 19 years. When I first started, why I first started karate was my friend actually got into it. He didn't go to Donato Karate Center. He went to a school called Master U, so I think it's still open. He's in Boynton City. Okay, but so I wanted to start karate. My parents looked around. We went to like 3 or 4 different schools, names of which I don't even remember. And then we came to Master Donato, and my parents and I kind of decided, we like this school. It's really nice. It's good. And I've been here ever since, and he's been trying to get rid of me, but I just won't leave.
It's cool. When you came back, you came in, and you just same thing with you. Just jump right on it. It's like DKC is like a machine now. And when you come here as with aspirations to be an instructor or help out, you have to step into. It's like a treadmill that's going fast.
That's right.
And you have to jump on, and you're gonna fall down, but you got to get right back up on this fast-running treadmill. So it's like a machine being here. So I love it, though. It's very exciting. No dull moments. It's like being on a roller coaster, but it keeps going up and going over, up, over, up, over. So it's pretty cool. I love it. So thanks a lot. So if you think of anything, just share. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I go way back. I started martial arts when I was 9. And I'm 56, so you could do the math. I'm going to be 57 in May, so I've been doing martial arts for a while. I started in the Bronx. I'm a street kid. I grew up in a very violent environment, so for me, it was really survival to learn how to defend myself. I did run with gangs. I was a gang member, and so that's so far behind me, but it's still part of who I am and some of the reasons I think the way I think. I'm a warrior. And I've been training martial arts since 9. I first started with judo. I've done Shotokan, Taekwondo, Hapkido. I've done Junfan Jeet Kune Do. I've done. Now I'm doing Tang Soo, and then what else? Modern Arnis, and then right now I just earned my purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Pete McHugh at McHugh BJJ on the other side of Mount Laurel. And so I've been doing this for a while. I said it before, I'm a 6th degree master in Tang Soo Do under Michael Donato, and it's been awesome. It's been a great ride. I spent many of my years as an actor, performing artist, so being in front of a camera, being on stage, talking to people, and interacting with you out there watching us over here, and then interacting with guys that are part of the stage here. It's I'm very comfortable with that. And so the one thing that I learned, my number one thing that I learned in martial arts is that martial arts is an everyday mindset. It doesn't change. It's not a switch you turn off and then turn on when it's appropriate or when it's needed or when it's relevant. It's something that I realized that I'm a martial artist and then I do everything else. And so I'm a dad, but I'm a martial artist, that's a dad. I'm a teacher, but I'm a martial artist, that's a teacher. I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. How do you say that?
Entrepreneur.
Thank you. And but I'm a martial artist first. And I learned this mindset with Dave Kovar, Kyoshi Kovar.
Yes,
and Kyoshi Kovar has taught us a lot, taught me a lot. The first thing that Master Donato gave me when I came on board back in 1999, officially 2000, was a videotape and a book from Dave Kovar, Kyoshi Kovar. And I saw the videotape, and that was my thumbs up to have fun when I teach. And so I've been doing this for a while. And so it's a little bit about me. You can find out about me if you want. Just type peterliciaga.com and you find information about me. Or just Google my name, Peter Liciaga. You'll find me. I'm very easy to find, and I've put myself out there in a very purposeful way so that you guys can know who I am, and that's very important. And I want to segue to that, segue to the importance of parents and the community knowing the community leaders in your community, the teachers, everyone that interacts with you and with your children, like us. We teach as young as 3 years old at Donato Karate Center, so it's important that you get to know us. So I made myself available to everyone to get to know who I am. I've been very discerning about it. I don't give it all out there, but I give enough where you get an idea of, what I'm like, what I'm about, and you basically, there's a portfolio of my life out there. So check that out. Google me, and I'm curious. Google your Mount Laurel martial arts guy, and I'm curious to see who's out there that comes up. So now, if someone wants to get a hold of you, Master Cline, how would they get a hold of you? Find out about you.
Oh, to find out about me, look on social media, Facebook mostly. I'm not on too many other social media platforms, but you can look up Trevor Cline. Okay, I have a little bit of a description on my my Facebook page. I don't think it's blocked. It's not very private. It's somewhat private, but send me a friend request. I'll probably accept it. I'm not picky about that. Okay.
Awesome. For you, Mr.
Same
McGill.
thing. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Tumblr. Not Tumblr. Instagram. Excellent. But under Colan Magill, links will be in the description somewhere. I am mostly on Facebook right now, but I've been trying to break into the Instagram world. It's a really weird format for me. I'm not used to photos and video.
That's cool. I love it. That's awesome. That's excellent. So you stretch. So you're like a white belt.
Oh yeah.
White belt.
Less than that. Less than that. I'm working for it yet.
Haven't earned your white belt on Instagram, but I'm everywhere. I'm truly everywhere. I'm very active on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. I play with that. And I'm also on Snapchat, Musically. If you're on Musically, go to Musically. I got a couple of musicals up there. What else am I on? LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well. So I'm pretty much out there. And if you are somewhere that I'm not, on a platform, social platform, whatever it is, and you're there because you find it the most interesting place to be and you really love being there, let me know. I'm curious to see where you guys are. And so if you're on Instagram, follow me, follow Master Cline and Mr. McGill, and also go to Facebook, friend us, and I do have a page there that you can like. I have a couple of pages there, but friend me. And I don't mind, friend me, as long as you don't start like stalking me or anything like that.
Sending us spam stuff.
Yeah, I had someone the other day. I do the best that I can. I put positive, motivating, inspiring, and encouraging content up, from pictures, videos, to audio, to everything that's positive, because nothing negative. And the other day I put something up, and I had someone, someone just come back to me and just had this out of this blue comments. Did you see that comment?
I don't think I did.
Some guy in Cinnaminson. Okay, and his name will be below in the comment section. I'm gonna call him out because he started this thing. I think it was this. I asked the question, "Are you on Instagram?" And then I said, "Join me at Instagram.com/Peter Liciaga." And then he came. Well, he commented, "Your family and Jesus." And I was like, what? What are you talking about? So I go to him and I said, I don't understand, put a question mark there. And then he comes back and it starts this conversation of him just being really smart alecky. And he was like, I saw him, what do you call those people that, trolls?
Trolls.
He's a troll. He was being negative, yeah. But I shared everything, and my last comment with him, I believe, was that, hey man, more power to you. If this is what's going to drive your day, bring joy to your day, go for it. And then I just said, peace out.
Peace out,
but other than that, if you want to troll me, you can troll me. I welcome it because, I'm a martial artist. Not only do I have my hands, but I have the mental martial mindset. And so it's always, if you want to waste your time doing that, I'll spend some time maybe planting a seed in you, encouraging you, and hopefully put fine. I gotta share that with you guys. I will share that with you guys. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about in this show. This is actually, basically the official first show of your Mount Laurel Martial Arts Guy show. And I did put 2 videos up on this playlist. You'll probably see this right after this, because right after you watch this, it goes right to the next one. But this is really the first one. I got 2 guys here that are going to help me to share the knowledge with you guys and enlighten you guys. And this is so new. We don't have any questions from anyone. So if you want to ask a question, do the comments below. That'll be fine. But this is the beginning, and we're going to see where this goes. My goal is to get at least 12 out, so I'll have 12 out, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys, and you guys are going to let us know whether this is valuable to you. If it's not, then I won't waste my time. We won't waste our time. We just bring value to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll be talking about martial arts mindset. We're also going to talk about martial arts techniques, so you'll see techniques here. If you have questions about self-defense, weapons, anything, you can ask it, and we're going to give you an answer. Now, I don't know everything. We don't know everything,
Yes, sir.
but we can definitely give you an answer
That's right.
to everything. You like that? Okay, so the first thing I have a list of things that I want to go through, and the one thing is talking about how martial arts. I heard this from Tom Callos many years ago. Tom Callos told me that martial arts is more than kicks, punches, and blocks, and I've added arm bars and chokes. Martial arts goes way beyond the physical, and so let's talk a little bit about that. Because you've been doing it for a while. I've been doing martial arts 47 years. You've been doing it for how long?
17 years?
17 years, and you?
Almost 19 years.
19 years, so it's a significant amount of time. So we have something to say about martial arts. Physical, mental, emotional, psychological, to some spiritual. So let's talk about that. Okay, what does martial arts mean to you within the context of the physical? And let's just stay to the mental.
But for me, especially, it's getting comfortable being in uncomfortable situations. So our day-to-day life, sometimes we can get ourselves into a groove and everything's fine. But in the working world, every so often, everything hits
You're talking
the fan.
about the real world.
Oh yeah, the real world. Really, any world.
Yeah.
And the one thing that being martial arts for so long has taught me is I've been choked out a couple times, sometimes by Master Liciaga here, a couple Kimuras from him, but being comfortable with being in a little bit of pain. Not so much that I'm shattering ribs, but that I feel I don't want to be here, but I'm okay. Because I've been in a couple experiences in my life, one of which I was working at a summer camp, and we had a parents' night out. So all the parents were coming to look at our summer camp with all the kids, and for some reason, there was no rain in the forecast. There was supposed to be no storms. But suddenly a storm appeared. Over the town the summer camp is in, and nowhere else. And instead of moving like most storms, it just stayed there for 2 hours and dropped 5 inches of rain in the wetland that was the summer camp. So all the staff, myself included, are trying to keep the kids calm because kids and thunder don't usually mix. And everyone was falling back onto their skill set. And this would be a really bad time to be a staff member who's panicking. And the one thing martial arts taught me is, this is going to suck for a little while. I'm going to be outside in a thunderstorm. One of my coworkers actually did almost get struck by lightning. We had to call them an ambulance. But because I was able to stay calm, I was able to better help making sure all of our campers got home safe, and that as many staff members as possible were getting to where they needed to go. And I have a specific memory of standing at the top of this large hill in a thunderstorm, which is not where you want to be, as the rain is coming down and 2 inches of water is rushing past my feet, shouting at parents, if you have your kids, please take your kids home. Kids, if you're looking for your parents, go under the pavilion, we're going to help you find them. And just sitting there going, this is a bad place to be, but this is where I am today, so I'm going to take it in stride. And I don't know if Master Jai or Master Cline have any anecdotes about that, but that's probably one of the biggest effects it's had on my life. Is being
Now,
able to
what
breathe.
specifically martial technique? Obviously, it's mental techniques. I know you talked about being comfortable in uncomfortable situations and being able to be clear and being like what I would call the peace and the calm in the storm. Literally, in
Yes.
that case. Okay,
Yes.
So it sounds like you just use some, you saying just being comfortable and uncomfortable. So something more specific in martial arts, and because I know, and we're talking about non-physical here, non-physical techniques, strategies, and concepts and ideas.
Yes, sir.
And so, what specifically? I know you mentioned being uncomfortable, being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So, can you elaborate more about the specifics of that and how martial arts tied in and helped you with that?
So, if you're doing a lot of live training, we do it in jiu-jitsu where you're sparring, you will be on the losing end before you're on the winning end. So you get very used to, for me, I weigh 130 pounds. Not many people weigh 130 pounds. So I am always grappling and training with people who have 30, 40, 50 pounds on me.
Oh yeah.
Which is already not to my advantage. And then a lot of them have more experience than me. because I'm still relatively new to jiu-jitsu. Still got the nice shiny white belt. 1 stripe in 2 states.
I like it. 1 stripe in
2
in
states.
2 states. I love it. That's funny.
But-
It's funny. I saw you when we rolled the other day. We were the first rolls, right?
Yeah.
We were the first. And I weigh 180 pounds, between 176 and 180 pounds. And you say 130?
Yep.
And then right after me, who did you go to? I looked around and said, where did McGill go?
Oh, Big Bob.
Big Bob. Big Bob's like 250 pounds, and he's like what 6'3", 6'4", something like that. And I saw you, fist up with Big Bob. And said, okay, that's when you're young. I love it. So I appreciate that. So I think just being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. I love it.
And even with that, a lot of us this time of year are having our New Year's resolutions, which may be a good or a bad idea, but we're trying to change our bodies, our athleticism. And I've always found there's some exercises I really like. Sit-ups. Sit-ups I really like. That probably means I should be doing less sit-ups and more of something harder, because the difficult exercises are where you're improving.
Right.
It's not where you're comfortable.
Yeah. You always grow in those bad situations. Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. For you.
For me, martial arts has always provided this mental and a physical work ethic as well. I think that, for a lot of kids, the discipline aspect comes into play. It wasn't really for me. For martial arts, I was very quiet as a child. You can't tell now, okay? But when I was a child, I didn't like to talk a lot. I had like one friend, and that was really about it. And what martial arts did for me was really it forced me, getting comfortable with this idea of being around other people and the physical parts of martial arts. I had to get used to grappling because we used to do headlocks and we used to do arm bars and everything like that back in the day too. So you getting used to that really did force me to come out of my shell, and then that forced me just to become more talkative. And I had this idea to become a teacher because I have a degree in teaching as well. So I wanted to become a teacher, and then after I got out of college and came back here again, I was like, I think it was a few months, and I said, I want to teach. I want to teach karate. So I started teaching karate, and that really forced me, along with my education career, to come out of my bubble a lot. I had to do that, but it also provided this work ethic as well I'm just going to work hard no matter what I'm doing, okay? Because that's what martial arts does for you. You're going to continually train. And hey, you might make some mistakes along the way. That's okay. Everyone's going to make those mistakes. The end goal is in sight, but I don't remember who said it, but it's not the ending that's important. That's that journey along the way, and it's the things that you learn along that path. That's what shapes you and forms you into a martial arts, into a black belt. Okay, those are the important parts. And martial arts provides that mental attitude to that, hey, I'm going to work hard here today. That's not a bad thing. There are no easy roads. It's just working hard. Most people will tell you that. That's why they'll work very, very hard. There's nothing that's going to be handed to you, unfortunately. You have to work hard for everything that you get in your life.
Right, and if it has value,
right,
you got to work for it.
Yeah.
And you look at any successful person in the world. Now, success, you define what success is, okay? But if they reach a high level of success in their endeavor, whatever they decide to do, you're going to see that they all arrived at their what they hope to arrive at is with hard work. I know for me, martial arts gave me a purpose with everything, because I've done so many things over my life, and it wasn't until I was in my 30s when I decided to retire as an actor because I wanted to start a family that I really said, you know what, I want to teach martial arts. I remember being 9 years old and I was doing stretching. I wanted to be Bruce Lee. I don't know if you guys know Bruce Lee. Let me know if you guys know who Bruce Lee is, and so just write down below, comment. But I was trying to get that split. And remember, my oldest sister, I have 3 sisters and 1 brother, and my oldest sister came in, sat down with her legs crossed right in front of me, looked at me with her hands like this, and me, I'm trying to get that split, that straddle split. And she looks at me, all nonchalant, says, why are you doing all this? Because, I would lock myself in the room, and I would just train. And then I would go train, come back and train push-ups. My thing was push-ups because Bruce Lee did push-ups, thumb push-ups, finger push-ups, all kinds of push-ups. He a little ball in the air and he tried to kick, and he had that stretch, and I wanted that split. And she asked me that question, why are you doing all this? And I said, because one day I'm going to be teaching. And this was when I was 9 years old. And that was that moment. And then fast forward through me running the streets, doing whatever I did, going to the ballet world, and then theater, then film, TV, and then doing all that. I came to the point when, I'm now married and we want to start a family. I needed to stop traveling. I was doing a lot of touring. So I decided to start a martial arts program. I wanted to teach martial arts. That was going to be my retirement plan. And I loved it. I love that idea. Going back to it was just, I had saw the vision when I was 9, and here I am, and I had to do the math. It was almost 1990, 2000. Okay, so what is it right now? 17 years ago. So I'm
18.
So 40 years old, almost 40 years old, and I came to Donato's. He gave me an opportunity, and I started teaching, and I realized, wow, it's on these mats that life principles, concepts, ideas, and thoughts are tested and come alive. If it works on the mat, you can take it and then apply it to life. Not in the physical sense necessarily, but in the mental sense, because you really test it here. And I love that. I'm very, I like contact, and my lessons are learned through pain, through hurt. Maybe not physical, but emotional. All my downs in my life, I've learned lessons. And there was a time in my life I didn't realize that there was value to all these heartaches that I went through, these downs that I was in, from street life through just managing my life, getting out of the streets and going through a life as this person that's trying to navigate and make sense of life. I had all these downs, and then I thought those were just a waste of time. Why am I going through this? But it's not until I started teaching that I realized all these lessons, all the heartache, all the pain that I went through legitimized me as an instructor. When I told someone, like for instance, right now, I got beat up yesterday. I had 5 rounds yesterday in jiu-jitsu. You were the first one, and I got with a purple belt that just sat on my head 90% of the time. And there was a time when that person literally sitting in my head, hard to breathe, you just survive. There was a time when someone did that, I would freak out and I would tap out. But I lasted the whole time. He didn't armbar me and everything like that, but now I'm sore. But now I understand through that pain, through that lesson, that now I could go to these guys and choke you guys out, sit on your faces, and you guys can't do anything about it. And I can let them know this is what you can do to survive. It's not a theory, it's fact. Okay, these are concepts, ideas, and I realized that right away when I started teaching martial arts. And then I also realized that it actually affected people's lives. What I was sharing, the knowledge that I was sharing was actually changing the way they thought about themselves, and then that would redirect, they would change paths. And there was one perfect example. I had a young lady, my first martial arts program, and I was training with Master Donato as a student first, 3rd degree Taekwondo, and I started a program at the basement of a church. And I had by the midsummer, I had about 60 students. And I had one student that came up to me. I must have said something that triggered their thought. Just triggered something on them. They came up to me afterwards and asked, Mr. Liciaga, you mind if I ask you a personal question? I went, sure. And they asked, well, look, it sounded like you were abused when you were young, and so I was. And this young person had actually attempted suicide twice prior to coming to me, which is the reason why her parents put her in my program. And then she had asked, how do you live with yourself every day? And in that moment, I found the reason why I needed to do what I was doing. Get on the mats and teach and share my knowledge, share my experience. Because in that moment I told her, because one day someone's going to come to you and ask you the same question, you're going to give them this answer. That every day you're going to train like a warrior, get up in the morning and think like a warrior and say, I'm going to fight a good fight today because I have these battles. And the darkness is real for many of us. And as a martial artist, we give you not only the physical strategies and tactics and ideas, concepts and principles and thoughts, but we also show you how to apply these ideas to your mental strength, empowerment. And so for me, that's a huge reason why I continue doing what I do and why I just continue to go with that. And so martial arts is, and not once did we really talk about, other than the chokes, me choking armbarring you and you armbars those things because it's fun.
It is.
And me, somebody sitting on my face. Other than that, we didn't mention any physical. We really spoke about the mental empowerment that one gets in martial arts and the toughness. I mean, being in uncomfortable situations, and I mean, disagree with you if you like and jump in, but when you're in uncomfortable situations, you get your body, your mind, that warrior spirit, that indomitable spirit that you want to build gets conditioned. There was a time that I could not, like right now, your body is not used to it. The ligaments, the muscles, your body, your lungs are not used to it. But over time, you get used to it. The mental, you get all this pressure put on you. Like sometimes we'll have 3 separate classes going on at the same time. We'll have the little champions going on, right? We'll have the adult classes going on, 12 and older. Then we'll have the 7 through 11-year-olds going on. We have 3 classes going on there. Then we have to meet the parents' needs, phones. So we have a lot going on at DKC. But we have such a trained staff and such passion to do what we do that we're all conditioned to stand back and there be peace in this storm. Some people will look in and they'll see all this, what they would say chaos going on, but then you'll see the instructors, starting with me, Master Donato, Master Cline, Mr. Magill, with this peace on them where they're in control. And it's a mental thing. And so martial arts is more than kicks, punches, chokes, blocks. All that's fun. And it's more than board breaking. And so martial arts is all about mental and that emotional strength and empowerment. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys there. So what I want to do, I did segue into board breaking because it's fun. And also, and that was one of the things I want to talk about, board breaking. We have a board breaking event. Now, being that we're close, I find myself doing a lot of this, so feel free to defend yourselves. But board breaking, we have an event coming up at DKC, a board break event, what we call a board break bash. So that had me thinking the other day, and I shared the video the other day of Bruce Lee, and I was thinking about what would Bruce Lee think about board breaking? And then, I narrowed it down to 2 thoughts.
Yes.
Pardon me. If you're into Bruce Lee's movies, and you watch, what's that one movie where the guy breaks a board?
Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
And after the guy breaks the board, Bruce Lee says,
Boards don't hit back.
Boards don't hit back. So a lot of times when I have a video of me breaking 100 boards, and I've had comments in the past where people would say, boards don't hit back. And I know they're quoting Bruce Lee. Okay, and so you have that thought from Bruce Lee. And that would presuppose that he thinks board breaking is a waste of time. Because boards are you're not going to go fight a board. You're going to go against someone that's going to hit you back, choke you out, break your arm, and or even worse. Okay, and so that's that thought process. You might think that Bruce Lee thought board breaking is a waste of time. Then I found this video of Bruce Lee breaking boards. Now, Bruce Lee, if you know Bruce Lee, his purpose was to look at what was wasteful in martial arts and strip away what he perceived was a waste of time for him as a martial artist, as he grew as a martial artist. But I found these videos of him breaking boards, and I shared that the other day. Now, obviously, we're having a board break event. We believe in board breaking, that board breaking does fit in to martial arts, not only in the physical sense, but also in the mental sense. So I want to talk about that. Okay, so what are your thoughts about that? Now, you might think that board breaking is a waste of time.
No. So the thing with board breaking is some people will argue, oh, the boards are really easy to break. Some people will argue that they don't hit back. But if you ever watch a boxer, you see him on a heavy bag, you don't go up to him and say, that heavy bag's not hitting back. Or those targets you're training with aren't hitting back. Because the reason we do board breaking isn't because we're trying to just break a board. Because when you have someone and you put a piece of wood in front of them and say, okay, take your hand, that soft, pretty breakable thing that you do all your fine motor writing skills, typing with, and push this through a tree. Won't work. And people tend to do one thing when they first learn, oh, I must break board now. They hit the front of the board and they hurt their hand. And this can be someone from the 4-year-old child to the 25-year-old who's been lifting weights for years. And it's not because they didn't have the strength to break the board. It's because they're thinking, it's gonna hurt. Oh, when my hand goes through it, I'm gonna hurt my knuckles, I might break my hand. And if you think that, you're gonna hit the front of the board and it's gonna hurt. But for me, I know I'm trying to strike through the board. I wanna break it. And if I go through that board, my hand does not hurt.
I like the idea that you're looking at it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a piece of equipment. And when you said the punching bag, because punching bag can hit back. A bag targets a hit back. Even matter of fact, a board will hit back. I remember one time I was holding a board for someone, and the board broke, and it broke my nose. I know one time I've broken a lot of boards, and a board had fallen and actually hit my foot, and that's happened a lot. And so boards do hit back. Okay, but no, I like the idea that the board, yes, I totally agree. I think the boards are a tool that needs to be used, and there's a psychological aspect to it, and there's also the physical aspect. There's the conditioning. When I broke the 100 boards,
There's a lot of conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
I've been breaking boards. I started breaking boards probably when I was 10, 11 years old, because back in old school, you did knuckle push-ups on concrete, and it's a different mindset. There's value in that, but there's a different mindset, and we were different back then, especially me when I was growing up, so it was different, very, very different. But the idea was I was conditioned. My body was being conditioned for that stress. And so board breaking is part of conditioning your body. If you're going to strike an opponent, you want to make sure that your strike is going to be effective. And you want to condition your hand or whatever you're going to use, elbow strikes, knees, whatever you're going to use to strike your opponent. You want to make sure it's conditioned to withstand the impact. This way it doesn't break or worse. And so board breaking is part of that. Of course you can break cinder blocks, ice, glass, whatever. But the idea, again, talking about ideas, principles, concepts, the idea is to condition the body and then the mind. You have to, like you were talking about, you have to convince yourself that you can do it. That I will break this board, and it's over time, it's through practice, and it's going to hurt at first. It will, because the nerves, your bones, everything is it's not conditioned. But the more you do it, so I spent 6 months getting my hands ready for a 100 board break, and I did stacks of 10. Videos up, check it out. If you want to get a link to the video, let me know. It's pretty cool. Even when I see it today, it's amazing to see it go brah, and I remember the sound, brah. Were you there at the time?
No, I was not.
You weren't there as well, right? Oh man, it was incredible, and we did it as a fundraiser. Had never done this before. Pardon me, 10 boards at a time. So I knew I had to condition my hands. 6 months, going through conditioning. If you want to find out what I did for the conditioning, ask. But my hands were calloused. They were totally ready to break. And when you see that, I didn't get. I maybe got a little scrape on my hand because of the board scraping me, but my hands were fine. See, they're still fine here after breaking those 100 boards. I also did 500 boards about 2 years later at stacks of 5. Boom, 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 boom. It was incredible. Didn't get a video of that.
Oh.
Yeah, but I did get the 100. But it's all about mindset. Now, here at Donato Karate Center, we have. Now, you have any thoughts on that?
I do. Yes, I was going to jump in, especially when it comes to board breaking. I think of board breaking as almost 75% mental. It's a very, very mental game because you can psych yourself out. Oh man, this board's really, really tough. I'm not going to be able to break it, and you can't let those thoughts get to you. Mr. Magill talked about that slightly, but it is almost 70. When I went for my master's test, I did a break called a reverse round kick. Okay, and it's a hard break to do because you don't get a lot of power from your foot. Now, I didn't know I could break the board. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know until the night before that I could break the board. I had someone, because you have to have a holder, obviously. I had someone hold for me, and I broke the board. And I said, okay, I can do it. But it was in my mind. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this kick when I test for my master belt. It was in my mind, and I practiced on the bag almost every day to do it. But I didn't know if I could break the board or not. But I knew in my head, I said, I'm going to do it anyway. Even if it takes me 3 or 4 tries, the board's going to break. It didn't take me 3 or 4 tries. It broke on the first try. But I knew I was going to do it. So it's a very, very mental game. And people get in their head starts like, I don't fucking break this or not. Don't let the board beat you. And I used to tell kids this all the time, especially when we do we have colored boards down over here at our feet. But when people get to the blackboard, that's our hardest board that we have, people psych themselves out because that's the hardest board. I don't know if I can break it or not. But I tell everyone the same exact thing. I said, well, you have to hit it like you want to break it. And hit every single board like that, whether it's the easiest board to break, whether it's the thinnest board, or it's the thickest board. Go straight through it. That's the idea. Okay, you hit every single board with everything you've got. You don't hold anything back, because if you hold back, that's when you get injured. Okay, why don't I need this much energy to break that board? You can't let those thoughts get in. No, I'm going to destroy this board. Okay, and that's every board that you come up against.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for us to use board breaking as an analogy for life and challenges. You'll have little challenges, big challenges, but it's all the same, like a board. More challenging board, an easy board, doesn't matter, it's a challenge. Get through it. And having that mindset, and having the mindset that you will get through it. It's not, I can get through it, or I might get through it, or I hope I get through it. It's just this mindset where I will get through this board, I will get through this challenge. And I remember I've done, years ago, I used to do speaking about challenges with kids, and we'd write on the boards all these different challenges that the kids would have in their lives, from bullying and across the board, depression, everything like that. And we'd write it on there, and they would just, breaking through that board, showing them how to break the board, which we're going to show you guys in a couple of seconds, very quickly, how we train a 3-year-old, anyone, to break a board. And it's, first of all, mindset, okay? But they would break that board, and once they go through that board, and it's easy, we know they can do it, they don't know they can do it, but when they do it, their eyes light up. You see their eyes, whoa, it's like this. And we know that's going to happen, and all they got to do is break that board. And sometimes we actually help them, because, we need that support at times, but it's that the moment they break that board, there's a shift in their mindset. They are empowered. So that board becomes a tool that we can use in martial arts to help with technique, but more importantly, to empower people so they can have that mindset that they will get through a challenge. And it's ongoing. It's not just breaking one board. You got to do it constantly. There was a time when we were told you got to break one board a day at Funakoshi, I believe. I could be wrong. Correct me on that. Who said that you have to get up every day and break one board every day? It's because of this. That's going to be your challenge. Break that board, and you start your day knowing you got through the first challenge, and it was easy, squeezy. You could get on there, lemon parcheesi, whatever you call that. Okay. But let's do this. I want to do this as we get ready to wrap up. And I want to talk about what we do, the process that we go through. In a couple of weeks, we'll do the board break for our kids as young as 3.5, 4 years old. They're going to be breaking boards. And then we're going to have adults breaking boards. We're going to have breaking boards. We're going to have, big guys with muscle and just power houses here. And then we're going to have like these lightweights that can get in and become the most annoying because they know how to get to those fine areas there. And get, like there, he's like a squirrel. I mean, so you get the squirrel, then you got the bull, and these guys will be breaking boards. That's how I see them. I'm, moving mountains and riding waves when I roll with these guys. This guy's like a squirrel trying to roll with this guy. He's like a squirrel all over the place. Master Cline here is just like, he's just pressure. And I'm like, I have to okay, watch out for this pressure. Don't let him get over here, because if I get him on top of me, it's like, the game has changed. Okay, but board breaks. So what we do, let me explain first. Can you go run and get a small blue target?
Yes.
Okay, can you just get the bag top?
Sure.
And so there's a progression. And it's a progression where we first show a technique. And we'll just talk about, get you right over here, Guys, you're gonna just use those as visuals so they get an idea of what we're gonna, how we do this. Okay, there's the bag top of one of our bags. Okay, we couldn't carry the whole bag over here. And there's a small blue target. But what we do, let's talk about palm strikes.
Yes, sir.
Very easy, very practical use for self-defense. Palm striking. So what we'll do, we'll train them first in the air.
Yes,
No contact at all. Just talk about the technique. Straight to the nose. We say the nose is the target. So we'll practice, right? We'll do that 5, 7 times.
Yes, sir.
And then once they get the idea, they have their hands up, idea going straight, not out like this, or a silly sloppy slap. Because we're not silly sloppy slap do, right?
That's right.
We teach Tang Sudo, Korean martial art, and then we throw some jujitsu in there.
That's right, yes, sir.
Or the arm barring. But straight palm strikes, right? Heel of the palm, we show them where it has to strike, and before they strike anything. Once they do that a little bit, and this could take, maybe minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Minutes. You guys try, go like this. Easy, squeezy, lemon porcheesy, I don't know what you get. Okay, then we go to either this small target or the bag. Now what's great about these targets, again, these are tools, is that you can work on power on the bag. Power. Power. It's a big bag, big target, power, power. It's heavy. The bag itself, when it's filled with water to the max, it's about 200, 250 pounds, hard to move, very powerful, gives you an opportunity to strike and give power. So you'll go there. If you go there first, after you've learned it in the air, go to the big bag, then you go to the small blue target. You take the power that you worked on the bag, then you work on your focus, your control of that power. And then you would hold it just like a board. And that gets you ready for the board. Progresses you, hold it the other way, you have the straps toward them. Right in the middle. Okay, and you strike that. Okay, then from there, we then bring out the re-breakable board. So let's put those targets off to the side. Let's get the re-breakable boards over here. And that's pretty cool. So there is a progression. Again, we do the same thing whether you're 3 years old or 80 years old. So we have a white beginner board. These are all the boards here that we have. Let me give you these are like the beginner boards here.
Yeah.
And this here is like the intermediate boards are here. That's like an advanced. I would say that's advanced. So you start here with the intermediate boards. The white board, they start there. It's very easy. Just hold it up in the air and show how easy it is to break. The other way. There we go.
There we go.
Everyone see that? Very easy. So we'll have little ones do that, and we help them along the way until they get used to it. Again, it's a mental thing. So we get on the boards, re-breakable boards, the easy one. Once they get through that on the first opportunity, or the first try, okay, I just say break the board, don't try to break the board.
That's right.
You were saying, right, just break the board. They break the white board, then they go to the yellow board. Awesome, they break it on the first opportunity. Then they go to the next level board. Then they go to the next level board. So there's a progression, okay, and then once they get to a board where they can't break anymore, that's it, they stop there. Of course, the goal is to get all the way up through to the black board. Very challenging. Okay, now, whatever age they are, they'll get through. Maybe a 4-year-old will only get to go through the whiteboard, that's it, on their own, because I'll do it a couple times with me helping them, and then I'm going to challenge them to do it on their own. They got to break it on their own. If they got that, they're good. They try to go to yellow board, they can't. That's great, that's awesome. They still are empowered. Okay, we stop them there. We make sure that they are successful, and then we whip out the wooden boards. So let's get some ideas of wooden boards. Now the wooden boards are different sizes. We cut them on different sizes. They could be up to how many sizes do we have, you think?
Like 4, I think. I think it's
4 sizes for the, for maybe the 4-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
And hold on, let me get that big one there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, industrial strength one here. Now the little kids there, we have boards that are very small. So this may be a typical board for, let's say, a black belt adult. This board here. Okay, 12 inches. It looks like just over an inch. What is it? 2 inches?
About like an inch and a half.
Inch and a half, yeah.
I'd say.
Inch and a half, something like that. We used to break 2-inch boards like this back in the day. Okay, but the little ones, the 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds will break this board. The ones that go to the whiteboard, we break. This is that board. You look how thin that is compared to the thickness of that, and look at the width. So very different. And then they'll progress, and then we'll have a next size board. Now we'll have a same board size, but look at the thickness of that. So this might be, let's say, a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Again, maybe someone that breaks, let's say an orange-green board.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Orange-green board, right here. And then we don't have it here. We will have a whole bunch of boards a week. The week we have the board batch, which is January 27th. I'll have that information right below somewhere on this page. But we'll have boards that get wider and wider and wider so that the students, age level, size level, rank level, and their ability to actually have good technique, we match the board to the student for them. Now they might be a black belt, they weigh maybe 130 pounds, okay, and they have great technique, but yet they have not mastered their technique or the distribution of that weight, the velocity and all that, the science behind it, to break a board like this yet. Has nothing to do with person's size, it's all technique and willingness to work hard and create that technique and the speed to break the board. Okay, they just stay with a board that we know they can safely go through that will take them to the next level of empowerment, and it's all a mental game. Now, I have a couple of things I want to say. You guys want to add anything? Did I miss anything? No, pretty good, right?
Now that we went over basically the 3 steps that we always go through with every student
Yeah.
to break a board, which is they need the power, which means they got to hit hard enough.
Yeah.
They need to have the focus, which means they have
Yeah.
to hit it. If you didn't notice, there's like a line
Right,
there in
right.
the middle of the board. They've got to hit it there. They've got to hit in the middle of the board. Okay, that's that focus
Right.
that we talked about. And then the last part, the most important part,
Yes,
the key up.
the key up.
Okay, they have to have a good key. That
You know, the key,
yell of energy.
Yeah, the key up, and the key up is just basically your ability to bring all your powers, your mental, your physical, your breathing, everything to that split-second moment in time. That's when the hand makes contact with the board. At that moment, your key up tightens everything up. All your energy goes right through that board. The key up. A lot of our students don't get that yet, and that's okay, because we're there to help guide them along. But the idea is that progression. I want you guys really to see what we put behind. I don't know what other schools do. I'm confident they're doing a great job, but I know what we do here because we're here. It's a progression, and that everyone could be successful in breaking boards. They get 3 boards, and they'll break it. We have the medals and all that just for fun, but it's about the board breaking and creating this environment that's structured, that's safe. Number one, safety. We're all trained to hold the boards, and we'll all be holding boards for the students, but we want to have them leave here empowered, in their minds, that they can do anything if they put their minds to it and are willing to go through that challenge. The board breaking, I think, is an awesome tool, and I love that you alluded to that. Matter of fact, you just said that it was a tool, and I love that, using boxing as an analogy, as describing that. And yeah, the key up it's awesome, because I like that idea. I remember I did research many years ago about the key up and how it all comes together and tightening up of everything. But that's board breaking. And wanted to share that with you guys. If you have any questions about martial arts, anything, you even want to ask questions about, let's say, the mental aspect of it, the physical aspect. Maybe you want to learn about the forms. We'll be talking about karate forms. We'll be in the future be pulling the camera back and showing you some forms. We do have videos. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Ask us, and we'll make sure that we bring that answer to you. And we'll always have an answer. It will not be, I don't know. That's with respect to martial arts training, martial arts generally. But if you ask us about, let's say, helping someone as a therapist, I will say, I don't know. Because we're not therapists, though we see the value that it brings to people's lives. So wrapping this up, guys, thanks for spending this time with us. And I'll give my final goodbye in a second. I'll let Master Cline give his final thoughts and goodbyes.
Yeah, guys, that board breaking is a lot of fun, and kids get really, really excited over it. And I get excited over time. I'm glad that the kids get excited and they get all happy about it, and they get excited. Some people get a little nervous, but that's okay. There's all types of different kinds of people. So we're here to help them.
Right.
Help them succeed and get through. Because I always say this, especially when I used to do birthday parties, stuff like that, here at Tanana Karate Center, and we pull out some boards for the kids to do, some of the older kids usually. And so, well, can I break a board? And I tell everyone will break a board. There's not a single person that can't break a board. You can all break a board. Everyone won't be able to enjoy that. But thanks for inviting me today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks
A lot
for
of
being
fun.
here. I appreciate it.
And it was great talking to you guys. And hopefully
Is that cool?
It's great. I love it. And hopefully I'll come back for maybe one or two more.
We got to do more. We got to do more of these with us together. Because it's
I like
great.
it.
I like it. I like that. Guys, let us know whether you like our vibe.
That's right.
It doesn't come across with it. I get a nice vibe. You guys are awesome. And I feel very short. And, like a little munchkin. But it's all good, right? There we go. So, any final thoughts and little farewells?
Awesome. The Board Bash is probably one of my favorite events of the year, and one of the reasons is because, as you saw with how we take every student step by step at their level to build them up to being able to break the harder boards, that's what we're doing here every day. And I know sometimes when you walk into a martial arts studio, it's hard to see that on the front level because you're not on the grounds as an instructor. But our goal is we're not taking you to the black belt level from, we're just going to throw you into the stream. We find what's the student's level, how old are they, what are they dealing with, and how can we make them better today than they were yesterday. And thank you for having me here.
Oh,
I
it's
hope
my
I'll
pleasure.
be able to make it down once or twice from college.
You
come
will. No,
back.
you'll stay connected. There's things
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do, and even if we do like a Skype thing.
That's fair.
Hey, you got the technology. You can be there
Technology, that's
virtually. Maybe soon we'll have holograms. So we'll have these guys, or me. I could be in Hawaii. I can sit right here, and you guys here, and the hologram right over here, sitting here. We're having a great conversation. It can happen. It's happening now. Okay, but yeah, I think it's awesome that we're doing this. I think it's going to bring a lot of value to you guys. Please let us know if this brought you value. And yes, it's awesome. I have one question I want to ask you guys. And I'm talking about Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. And what's your favorite martial arts movie?
Ooh.
What's your favorite? Think about it.
It's actually the original Karate Kid.
You got one already?
I have one, yeah. So it's a movie
Karate
called,
Kid over here, the original Karate Kid.
Yeah.
It's a Jet Li movie called Fist of Legend.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. What's the one Jet Li movie that he was like a machine? He was trained like a machine, kind of like a hit person. And he wanted to get out of it. He found his emotions, and it was a very emotional. It was an awesome movie. I remember saying that. You just remind me of that. But if you think about it, let me know. But my favorite movie, Best of the Best, that came to the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
The best to the best. Still to this day, when I get to the end of that movie, I cry. I cry. I'll say it. The tears start coming down. Now, if you've seen that movie, let me know if you cried. Here's the question. I want to make sure we have a question every show. At the end of the show, this is the question. What's your favorite martial arts movie? Put it right down below. Let us know. Okay, guys. So as we say goodbye, guys, next Sunday, we're going to have our next show. And over the next couple of days, I'll let you guys know what will be happening in that show. But connect with us. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram. Those two areas, I'd like you guys to connect with us. Okay, for me, it's easy. Facebook, facebook.com/Peter Liciaga or Instagram.com/Peter Liciaga. That's me. How can they get a hold of you?
Facebook/Colan Magill. And with Instagram, I'm not sure, but I know there will be a link in the doobly-doo
Right below.
towel section below.
Perfect.
And for me, Facebook.com/Trevor Cline. It's Cline with a C, by the way, not a K. Everyone was supposed with a K.
Yeah, we'll put the links.
Well, you guys will get
links
it.
right below that you can just connect. Please connect with us.
Yeah.
Make a comment right below. Like the video. Let us know what you like. Give us a thumbs down if you hate it and you don't want any more of it, because that's important to know. I want to make sure that we're bringing you value. So that's it. Thanks for spending time with us. If you're a martial artist and you're in Mount Laurel, and you see yourself as a Mount Laurel martial arts guy, and I call myself that, but I know there's others out there, so we can be the Mount Laurel martial arts guys. I know there are girls out there, Mount Laurel martial arts girls out there, and Mount Laurel martial arts kids out there. If you would like to be on the show, let me know. Look at me rhyming. Okay, I'm in my rap zone. Okay, and my rap writing zone. I'm not a rapper. Okay, and but let me know. Let us know you'd like to be part of the show. Have a question, ask it. Have a comment, say it. Like us, share it. So I'm gonna do all this. This is my goodbyes for you guys there, and also know that we've got the board bash happening. That link's right below. And it's not just for students. I have to emphasize that. It's not just for students. It's for everyone.
Yep.
Come in, and we will take the time. It was so good because we're your Mount Laurel martial arts guys that we will show you exactly what to do, whether it's your child or it's you as an adult. And you want to come in and break some boards, you'll get 3 boards. We'll show you how to break it with a palm strike, maybe even a hammer fist, or even a stomp or front kick. Very easy, because we're great teachers, and all you have to do is be that student and be open. We'll show it to you. It's safe, and you'll break boards and get the sense and feel of real empowerment. So let us know. Link is right below. Other than that, you have a great day. We'll see you guys next Sunday, and we all say, see ya.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen? Is it Auf Wiedersehen?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
Okay.
Right?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.
Choose.
He speaks German.
Cheers.
I don't.
Yeah, spreche Deutsch, yes. And you speak a little bit. Okay, good. All right. Well, anyway we say it, it's a see ya. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Awesome. All right, guys.
There we go.
Let's see how long I go. This is going to take me to get
Oh.
high five.
Meinen I got the boss.
Good. So now